Atleti missing the chance to go level on points with Barcelona in the table there. Maybe sitting on a 1-0 lead has gone against them here. That's what is the feeling for many after it. But as it stands right now, they are in third place, but the teams around them are still to play in this midweek round of action. Stuart Robson still with us. He was there for the game at the Metropolitano. Your observations, Stuart?
Well, the first half, I thought Atleti played well. I saw a different side to them. They got their two wide players coming in field. They overloaded that midfield area. Griezmann had the best first half I've seen from him for a long, long time. He was clever with his movement. Murat and him linked up quite well. The fullback Molina got forward, and they defended well all around the pitch. I thought, what a good performance. The second half couldn't be more different. They sat back again. Rayo Vallecano started to get more players forward. They changed their system slightly. They didn't play with wing backs, but they got their full backs higher up the field. One of the midfield players dropped in, and they started to cause problems. And they just couldn't get it going against Atleti. And you have to ask whether the manager said to them at half time to sit back and just absorb the pressure. We'll catch them on the counter attack. But it never looked like happening. They dropped the tempo and they couldn't get it back again. And I think they fully deserved to not win the game in the end because they didn't do enough in the second half. Yeah, I agree with the guys. It's so difficult. I knew he was going to give a penalty as soon as he went, obviously, to the picture, but I didn't think it was a penalty. There's not much more he can do with his arm. But in the laws today, that seems to be a penalty. I don't quite understand it. But in the end, the way they played in the second half, I was really disappointed with Simeone and some of his players.
How many refs have you seen go to a monitor? I think Michael Oliver did it once in England and went to the monitor, was instructed to go, and then stuck with his original decision. But how many really go over there and don't just buckle to the VAR? You know, it's quite frustrating. But honestly, how the hell is this guy, and I know this has been something that Stevie touched on quite a few times, how the hell is this guy Simeone the best paid coach on the planet? I mean, how the hell? His teams are horrible to watch, right? I'm sorry, but if I went to that stadium and want to be entertained, they've got good players. They've got good players, you know. But yet, I know he's had success, but not all the time. Fleeting visits to the success party. But if I'm the top paid coach in the world, I want to see something different. Like some of these teams we're seeing, like City and Liverpool and Guardiola's Barcelona and all this sort of thing. I want to see something different. That's not value for money. Paying him fortunes to sit back and hit on the counter-attack. I'm sorry.
It's that bad, right? They're that bad that we're actually, and Robbo did it as well, when they actually do something well or play well for a half, we're going, actually, they played well for a half. Because that's not normal. Why is this guy getting paid 20 million a year? And we're sitting here going, oh, they did really well for the first half.
Last year they had some of the periods in games were some of the most exciting periods, 10, 15 minutes, of any game in La Liga. But it was generally when there was two games in a row, I think, they were 2-0 down. And he had to make changes, and then they got the winner in one of the games, they got the winner at home in the 94th minute, came back, scored 3 goals, because they were forced to do it. They were forced to do it. And they have the players. But I'm sorry, they were bang average last year, and he couldn't figure his team out. Every week, his team was different. Back 3, back 4, different midfield, different strikers. They ain't much better this year.
That's a bit harsh. He's only spent just under $1 billion. Give him a break.
He's had a lot of relative success with them, though, compared to what was happening before he came in.
Well, he should have. He spent nearly £1 billion. He nearly spent $1 billion.
Where do you stand on Diego Simeone at Atleti, Robbo?
You just did exactly what I was talking about there. Well, they've had relative success.
Well, they obviously won the title a couple of years ago, and he obviously got the best out of them at that point. They got to a couple of Champions League finals. But the way he plays his football and the way that he's, I would say, stopping some of the very talented players showing their real qualities, that's not good management for me. Today was poor management. The side played, again, quite well in the first half. I was impressed with DePaul, who played sort of inside right position and combined with Griezmann. But why did he then take it away from him in the second half? Is that the players or is it him? It has to be him. It happens over and over again. He made changes that didn't really work for him. I thought it was a very poor performance. And Simeone, the reason that he gets paid so much money and the reason he stays at Atleti is because when they did before the game, they read out the names of the players and they all got a nice cheer. The biggest cheer from the 55,000 people inside the stadium was for Simeone. So they love him here. For some reason, they still love him here.
He's harnessed that sort of mentality in the crowd. It's them and us. He has. You know, the media, us, and other teams and other coaches. And to be fair, he's harnessed that well, right? And he's spun a yarn, as you would say, and pulled the wool over the eyes. And the fans have gone for it. They love that mentality. The refs are against us. You know, the time wasting, the feigning injuries, the bad tackles, all the sort of horrible stuff that goes in with some of the good stuff. He's sort of polished that. And as Robbo said, he's the biggest star there. But trust me, we all know as players that have played, it's much more difficult to go out and coach a team to go and do things differently and play some nice football than it is to just leave one up front. And put all these aficionados that all of a sudden have become experts out there on social media and whatnot, talk about tactics and all these times this and times that. Trust me, you could say to a lower league team in England or Spain or whatever it is, go and just put 5 at the back, 4 in front and leave 1 up front. Do you think that's difficult? It's not difficult. No.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.